Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So we actually just hit 200 subscribers, which I think is really cool and exciting. So I thought, what better way to celebrate than with an unboxing video. So today here with me I've got the Vortex Venom, the new Vortex Venom scope. So it is a 5-25x56 scope, so the zoom range is 5 to 25 power and the main objective is 56 millimeters. It's got the EBR7C reticle, which I think is a really nice reticle, and it's the MRAD version I've got here with me. They do offer the scope in MOA, but I chose the MRAD one. So just a little bit about the scope. Before I get started, I'll just make sure that the measurements, I'll put it both in like inches, the metric and the imperial system. I'll just make a list here on the side so that everyone can follow along. So tube size is 34 millimeters. It's got a total length of 15.25 inches. The total weight is 35 ounces. Eye relief is 4 inches to 3.7 inches. And the adjustment graduation, which is pretty much the adjustment per click, is 0.1 milliradians. So total travel per turn of your turret, it's going to give you 10 milliradians for both elevation and windage. And the total windage travel and the total elevation travel is 25 milliradians, which is plenty. So it does include a throw lever, a sunshade, a turret tool, a 2mm hex wrench. It's got its lens covers and a microfiber cloth. So like I said, it's got the EBR7C reticle and it's a first focal plane scope, which is really nice. It sports Vortex's XT optical system, which is pretty much their way of saying it's got clear glass. It's got the rev stop system. So as far as I know, the rev stop system is kind of like a locking turret, but not quite a locking turret, because what I've read about the scope is they've saved a bit of costs by not offering the scope locking turrets, and they've just invented the zero stop rev stop system to accommodate for the guys who wants a form of a zero stop system in their scope. So the lenses are fully multi-coated and it is nitrogen gas purged, and it's advertised as waterproof, fog proof and shock proof. It does also come with the Vortex warranty, which everyone raves about, so it's unlimited, unconditional lifetime warranty, which is probably a good thing. So with that out of the way, let's open it up. So I just want to take a quick moment to thank Recoil Designs, who's both a friend and a supporter of the channel. They have actually just released the new t-shirts with a new print on them. You might have noticed me wearing the black one just earlier. So yeah, they've just released their new t-shirts, and if you're interested in seeing what Recoil Designs are all about, I'll leave a link in the description. So they make everything from t-shirts to hoodies, and I think they're making some hats now as well. All the gear is really high quality. I wear it to all my competitions, and I wear it to all my range days. It's nice, breathable cotton shirts, and yeah, I'm a big fan of them. So if you're interested, check them out, and they're linked below. Alright, let's open it up. So there we have it. So in the box we've got, I might pull out these things first. No, stuck. So unfold this flap, pull that out. So that's our microfiber cloth. Put that there. Got a product manual. Like I said, it's got the EBR7C reticle. It's an MRAD, first focal plane. So we'll put that to the side and pull the scope out. So it's got that's the sunshade in there. And that's the throw lever, and that looks like it's the turret tool. And I think that's the zero stop system or the rev stop system. So cool, put that aside. And that's our sunshade. And that's the scope. Alright. So yeah, it's got the scope covers attached to it, and it's a bit of a warning here. So properly mount a rifle scope, we recommend using a inch-pound system, and don't exceed 18 inch-pounds of torque on the rings. So cool. So it's quite a heavy scope. It's got quite a bit of mass behind it. I didn't expect it to be this heavy, but I guess it feels like it's quality. So take the scope caps off. have a bit of a look at the turrets. It's quite easy to read. Let's hear what they sound like. So they're really tactile, and they're quite audible. Yeah, they feel really good. So the elevation turret's feels nice. Let's try the windage. They sound slightly different to the elevation, but they also feel pretty crisp. Yeah, I don't have a problem with how they feel. They feel actually really nice. I think it's quite easy to feel how many clicks you've made. Even if I close my eyes, I can definitely feel and hear the feedback. So I think the turrets, they seem like they're pretty nice. Got our parallax adjustment. So yeah, that does feel, it's stiff, but not too stiff. I think it'll be a little bit easier with a bit of use, but I don't have a problem with how that feels at all. And then we've got the magnification ring here. So it's on 5 power at the moment. That's a bit stiff. It's fairly stiff, so I don't think it's going to move on you under recoil or under any use, and possibly it's going to become a little bit looser with use. But it feels pretty smooth. I don't feel any grittiness. I can't hear the power ring or the magnification ring move at all. I'll just do the parallax again. Yeah, it feels really smooth. I can't feel any grittiness or any other concerning noises or feelings. So both rings are quite stiff, but they feel good. There's no grit, nothing strange about them. And then we've got the eye adjustment piece, and that moves. It's fairly stiff also, but it moves freely, and that feels smooth also. Yeah, so these the eye adjustment piece, the zoom, and the parallax, all these knobs, all these dials, they're fairly stiff, but they feel smooth enough to move, and I'm sure they'll get a little bit smoother with use. So I'll just pop the scope down for a second. So we've got our sunshade. I won't put this on right now, but then we've got our throw lever. Let's take this one out. And our scope tool. So I think this scope tool we just open up, and it looks like it just fits into each turret here. So if you can see, just fits in nice and easily. So I think it's a plastic or polymer tool, and I think that's going to be a little bit easier on the alloy caps. It's going to be easier than perhaps a coin or perhaps even a screwdriver. So it's nice of them to include this. It's going to keep the scope looking nicer for longer. So we've got our throw lever. I might just put that on and feel what the scope feels like when you adjust the magnification. So I'm just going to find where the Allen key is. There it is. Okay. We'll just loosen it up, back it off, and slide it over the top. And I'll do it up. Alrighty, I'll just position it nicely. Position it 45 degrees out from dead center. 90 degrees, my bad. Alright, let's have a feel what it feels like. I've actually put it on the wrong way, but that does make the magnification a little bit easier to work with, so it does give you a bit of extra leverage. That actually feels quite nice. I think that's going to be That actually makes the throw lever a lot easier. Makes it a lot easier to adjust the magnification than just with the actual dial itself. So it's really nice of them to include that in the box. Yeah, I'll fix that a bit later. So what else do they give us? So we've got the rev stop system. So I don't know, let's open up and see what it looks like inside. So it feels like there's a seal in there, which is probably for the waterproofing. Alright. So that's what the turret looks like on the inside. And that looks nice, it's tidy. There's no excessive grease or any gunk in there that I can see. It looks machined really nicely. So I actually have no idea how this zero stop system works, so I'm just going to chuck it on there and see what happens. Alright, so rotate to stop. Okay. Sorry about that. Oh, okay, there we go. So that's the inside of the cap. Actually, let's just have a look at that now. So again, that looks fairly tidy. I don't see any machine marks or excessive grease or anything like that. Alright, so I think it should just go on there, and we rotate so it stops, and then chuck that back on top, and we'll zero out the turret. There we go. So it feels like there's quite a decent rubber seal somewhere on this turret cap, and that's going to probably serve to keep water and moisture out, which I think feels good. Oh yep, there it locks it. So you get about 5 clicks. So there's my 0. And it gives me 1, 2, 3, yep, 5 clicks down. So I guess that's just a nice thing if you're shooting competition and you have like a set 0 perhaps. You know, if you're shooting center fire and your 0's at 100, and you shoot a couple of different stages and you dial up a couple, you know, dial up 5 mils or even 10 mils if you're shooting out to like 1,000. And then you just want to come back down and you stop, you know, that's where you set your 0, and you just come back 5 from there. So that's quite handy. So yeah, I think the overall construction of the scope seems fairly good. It's a weighty scope, but I guess, you know, it's good or a bad thing depending on how you look at it. So that's the rev stop system. We've got the throw lever on there. Let's have a look at what else we got. So we've got the manual and a microfiber cloth. Yeah, that feels quite nice. So I guess this will just be a nice little cloth to wipe your lenses with, to make sure you don't scratch them and to keep, you know, smudges off the lens, which is a good thing. So if there's anything else I missed on this that I didn't cover, actually, well, we have it here. So that's the sunshade. It's quite a long sunshade, but I guess it'll do the job. And that matches up nicely. Just want to see if this scope lens thing covers it still. So we've got the scope cover. Oh, it's a bit of a stretch. But we got there. Awesome. So that's the scope, that's the unboxing of it. If I missed anything, just please let me know in the comments, and I'm happy to follow that up for you guys. So I've just been playing around with the scope for a little bit, and I must say I'm quite happy with the build quality and the overall finish of the scope. Happy with the turrets, they feel really nice, they're crisp, they're audible. I've got no complaints with them. The rev stop or zero stop system works really well. Played with it and I've zero stopped it a couple of times really fast, and it stops at exactly the same place every single time. So I think they've, you know, this rev stop system, I think it is an accurate and reliable zero stop, and I think it'll work just fine under match conditions or even hunting conditions if you want to use the scope for hunting. The parallax, it's really nice. It has actually become a little bit easier to turn with just a bit of use, so It's loosened up a little bit, I think, perhaps from the factory. It's just a bit tight, and as you use it, I think the grease just works its way into the bearing surfaces, and it's quite smooth, and yeah, no problems with it at all. The zoom lever, it's still a bit tight, but I think this throw lever really helps with it. So it's almost, it almost does a full 180 from, this is a maximum, actually a lie, it's 5 magnification. So if you just turn it all the way around, and it's not quite 180 degrees of turn, maybe it's a little bit more. It's actually a bit less, sorry. It's a bit less than 180 degrees of turn, but that gets you all the way from 5 to 25 times magnification. And the throw lever really, it just makes it a bit easier to turn, because if you just turn it with a hand, it is a bit stiff. And I guess the throw lever just kind of gives you a nice index point, because when this is pointing directly up, you're in 10 times magnification. If it's pointing all the way to the right hand side, that's 25, and all the way to the left, it's back on 5. So you can kind of get to know your magnifications just by indexing your throw lever. So directly up is going to be 10, to the right 25, and to the left is 5. So I guess my overall thoughts are, I think the scope feels like it's good. I feel like the build quality is alright, and me just looking through the scope, even though it's really close distances, I feel like the eye box is really forgiving. It's a fairly good eye box in my opinion, and also I can't see anything wrong with the glass just yet. So what I will do is I will take it out and I'll have a look through it at a bit longer ranges, and I'm not sure if I'll keep the scope, the sunshade on, but I'll figure that out on the weekend when I'm at the scope up to my 22. It's replacing my Bushnell Elite Tactical, simply because I need a better reticle for NRL 22. My Bushnell's got it's got a mil dot system on it, and I feel like that's just not, it's just not really helping me in competition environments, because I'm losing a lot of time by dialing because I don't trust my holdovers with the mil dot system. So hopefully with the EBR7C reticle, I'll be able to hold over and feel a bit more confident in doing so. So yeah, like I said, it's going to get mounted up onto my 22, and I'll take it out to the range. I might get some footage of the scope and how it performs. I'll do a tracking test, and I'll get some footage of the scope looking through it at lowest magnification and highest magnification at various distances, just so we can see, what the actual quality looks like. So yeah, I think for a $700 scope, I don't think you can go wrong with this. I'm pretty impressed with it, and I'll share with you guys what my thoughts are when I first take it to the range. So I'll see you then.